Before we get into the juice, okay, I want to ask you, Lauren, talk to me about this idea, the dark military idea, how this all came to fruition, and you started writing this and putting this together.
Are we talking about Rogue or like the whole
We're
idea?
talking about actually the whole idea from the
The
beginning.
whole idea was I was watching in so Dark Military was not released to 2019. That's my fault. But we recorded it in 2015. What was happening was I was watching people how they were shooting stuff in 2013 and 2014. I had this thing in my head like never make a movie if you can't get $1 million. Well, guess what, folks? That's kind of hard to come by. So I started like just basically taking notes from other people's sets. Like I would see a trailer and I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's horrible," and then the next one I'd be like, "That's well lit, shot," and I'm like, "I know everyone there. There's no way." Like I wish they would, but they were getting paid a substantial amount of money, so I'm starting to like kind of ease. Like, yo, could you ask what it cost for that to get shot? We'll go, locations versus. And I'm like, wow, you don't need $1 million. So I was like, all right. So especially at that time, I was running my film festivals, Freedom Shorts and Liberty Massacre out of Philadelphia. I did that 26 times. I will not say it's officially over, but it's definitely on a hiatus. I haven't had a show since October of 2019, and then what happened in 2020. So it was a great time where I met a lot of film directors, but got a lot of connections, and it really got my name out there. It was also holding me back from constantly making films. And I kept saying, man, I got enough resources. So I said, I'm going to write a movie around the current resources that I had. And that's what I did. And I kept saying, I'm like, we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 74. We had the Devil's Rejects. You had a couple groups in between, but I'm like, we haven't had a group in a while. And I just saw some shadow figures and I saw some girls in there particularly, and I'm like, it just started piecing it together. And I didn't have the name The Dark Military for a very long time. So when I was writing the script, I would write, then the walk, then what I call it, what was I calling it? The untitled group would walk in. We're walking through the forest. I was writing shit like that because I didn't have the name. I'm like, when I get the name, that's when I could actually start. Whatever the name of the team is going to be the name of the movie. Hey guys, it took me like 6 months to come up with the name. I was calling it the working title. Yeah, so the group working title. How's this? So, but I knew like I had an idea for the names, all biblical names. I had an idea of like I wanted biblical names, but I wanted no slander at God or Jesus in any way. I want to try a different point of view. I wanted my girls to have some sort of muscle structure that are in shape. That I love Pamela Springsteen and all that, but in Sleepaway Camp, but I don't fear 100 a girl that weighs 105 pounds. I'm sorry, I love it, but like I wanted to put girls out there that you look like you've got to fight these girls to death. These girls look like they can go. And then I wanted some comic relief. That's where the character of the cook came in. Because when you say, anyone who's listening to this, what's a scary movie? Well, the line forms to the left. Because what you think might be scary might be funny to the next guy. So I said, make sure you got some humor in there. And Barabbas's his dialogue is serious, but he mixes words up that makes you laugh in the dialogue. And so I tried to make sure everyone's dialogue for each character was different. It wasn't the same vocabulary. And I wanted the good guys, the faces of the movie, the good guys, to shine too. I wanted people to care about them. So every time I was writing their characters, I'm like, you're them now. How could you try to make them shine the best you could? So I said I want to make this all, my franchise, like at least my trilogy. So between my film festivals, my music video that I did for Dark Military, stopping and doing trailers, guys, before you know it, like people were like, "Are you ever going to release this movie?" And I kind of knew right there, I'm at fault here. I'm the too many cooks in the kitchen, but even though I'm just one, but I can't handle all this workload. So I thought even up to the release of the movie, a little bit of the hype died. But by the time you release the movie, it gets reviewed like 40 times. I had like literally like so many outlets because I marketed it so well, trying to get me to sign up front. and they're like, "Oh, we're the perfect outlet for you." And I'm like, "You didn't see the movie. You don't know what kind of movie you're getting." Like, it's just, there's like a lot of red flags with distribution. So when the movie came out, I was pleased. I was happy. I love the feedback.